The haunting tale of São Vicente de Fora Monastery's ghost. I can still feel the cold shiver that ran down my spine as I approached the towering stone walls of São Vicente de Fora Monastery in Lisbon, Portugal. The sun had begun its descent behind the sprawling cityscape, casting long, eerie shadows across the centuries-old structure. I had always been drawn to tales of the supernatural, and this particular evening would forever etch a tale of terror into my memory. São Vicente de Fora Monastery, with its grandeur and history, had long been a beacon of curiosity and dread for locals and visitors alike. The hushed whispers of a ghostly presence within its walls were well known throughout Lisbon. As I passed beneath the monastery's imposing archway, I couldn't help but feel the weight of centuries of history bearing down on me. The legend of São Vicente de Fora Monastery's ghost was one that had been passed down through generations. It was said to be the restless spirit of a former monk, Brother Guilherme, who had met a tragic end within the hallowed halls of the monastery. His story was one of intrigue, betrayal, and a terrible fate that had bound him to the mortal realm. I had heard of this legend from a local historian who had shared the chilling details with me. Brother Guilherme had been a devout monk in the 17th century, known for his unwavering dedication to his faith. However, his life took a dark turn when he uncovered a conspiracy within the monastery's ranks. He had stumbled upon a secret society that practiced forbidden rituals, invoking dark forces that defied all that was sacred. The moment Brother Guilherme threatened to expose the sinister group, he sealed his own fate. One fateful night, he was lured into a hidden chamber deep within the monastery, where he was confronted by the malevolent members of the secret society. The details of what transpired in that chamber remained a mystery, but the outcome was clear. Brother Guilherme met a gruesome end. It was said that his fellow monks, under the influence of dark forces, had brutally murdered him, sealing his body within the walls of São Vicente de Fora. But his spirit, consumed by anguish and betrayal, had refused to find peace. Instead, it wandered the halls of the monastery, its tormented cries echoing through the centuries. As I stepped into the dimly lit corridors of the monastery, I couldn't help but feel the weight of history pressing upon me. The air was thick with an unsettling stillness, broken only by the occasional flutter of a bat's wings or the distant sound of the city beyond. My flashlight pierced the darkness, revealing faded frescoes and worn stone floors. My exploration of the monastery took me deeper into its labyrinthine halls. Each step seemed to reverberate with the echoes of Brother Guilherme's tragic demise. In one particularly eerie chamber, I stumbled upon a forgotten altar, covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. It was here that the secret society had conducted its sinister rituals, and I couldn't help but shudder at the thought of the darkness that had once permeated the room. As the hours passed and the darkness outside deepened, I became acutely aware of a growing sense of uneasy. The temperature seemed to drop unnaturally, and I could hear faint whispers in the distance, whispers that seemed to beckon me further into the heart of the monastery. With trepidation, I followed the ghostly murmurs, my flashlight cutting a path through the inky blackness. The whispers grew louder, forming unintelligible words that sent shivers down my spine. It was as if Brother Guilherme himself was trying to communicate with me, to share his tale of woe. I entered a chamber that bore the unmistakable signs of recent activity. Candle stubs lay scattered across the stone floor, and a single candle burned on a makeshift altar. The flickering flame cast eerie, dancing shadows on the walls, and I felt a presence in the room, an otherworldly presence that I could not see but could certainly feel. I began to ask questions, my voice quaking with a mixture of fear and anticipation. "Brother Guilherme, is it you?" I ventured, my words hanging in the air. The candle flame seemed to respond, flickering wildly in response to my inquiry. The room grew colder still, and I could see my breath materialize in the frigid air. It was as if Brother Guilherme's spirit was trying to convey the horrors he had witnessed within these very walls. The flickering candle seemed to dance with a spectral energy, casting strange, shifting shadows that played tricks on my senses. And then it happened. An otherworldly voice, faint yet unmistakable, whispered in my ear, "Beware, they still linger." The words sent a chill through my entire being, and I knew that I was not alone in the presence of Brother Guilherme's tormented spirit. With a newfound sense of urgency, I retraced my steps through the winding corridors of São Vicente de Fora Monastery, my flashlight cutting through the darkness like a beacon. The whispers grew louder, more frantic, as if the spirits of the monastery were closing in on me. I reached the monastery's main hall, a cavernous chamber with towering arches and a hauntingly beautiful rose window. It was there that I felt a sudden, overwhelming surge of malevolent energy, a force that threatened to consume me whole. Before me materialized a shadowy figure, its form shifting and indistinct. It was Brother Guilherme, his face contorted in anguish, his eyes pools of darkness. He beckoned to me, his spectral hand outstretched, as if imploring me to understand his torment. As I stood there, paralyzed by fear and awe, Brother Guilherme's ghostly visage began to speak. His voice was a haunting whisper that echoed through the chamber, recounting the horrors he had witnessed and the malevolence that had taken root within the monastery. He spoke of the secret society's blasphemous rituals, their dark incantations that had summoned unholy forces into the world. He described the depths of their depravity, the madness that had driven them to commit unspeakable acts in the name of forbidden knowledge and power. As Brother Guilherme's spectral narrative unfolded, the very walls of the monastery seemed to come alive, their stones bearing witness to the atrocities of the past. Flickering apparitions danced in the corners of my vision, and I could feel the weight of their accusing stares. With a final mournful plea, Brother Guilherme implored me to share his story with the world, to expose the darkness that had plagued São Vicente de Fora Monastery for centuries. His voice faded into an anguished wail, and he dissolved into the shadows, leaving me alone in the haunted hall. I knew that I had witnessed something beyond the realm of the living, a supernatural encounter that defied explanation. With trembling hands, I made my way out of the monastery, my flashlight cutting through the darkness that clung to the ancient stones. As I emerged into the cool night air, I couldn't help but reflect on the chilling tale I had experienced. São Vicente de Fora Monastery's ghost had shared with me the depths of human darkness and the enduring torment of a soul trapped between worlds. The legend of Brother Guilherme and the malevolent secret society would forever haunt my thoughts. São Vicente de Fora Monastery stood as a testament to the enduring power of the supernatural and the chilling tales that lurked within its time-worn walls. I knew that I had uncovered a story that needed to be told, a story of terror, betrayal, and the restless spirit of São Vicente de Fora Monastery's ghost. And as I left that ancient place behind, I couldn't help but wonder if the malevolent forces that had driven Brother Guilherme and his fellow monks still lingered, waiting to ensnare those who dared to tread where darkness dwelled.